or 5.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality and Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, here with my lovely co-host over there. We got Jojo.
Hey, hey.
How are you doing, Jojo?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm cold, so I'm scarfing this.
Just scarf it down. You'd think it was food.
I ate lunch, so...
Yummy. Well, if this is your first time on Reality Realness, well then welcome. We're very happy to have you. Please do us a favor. Subscribe down over there. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we can only do it with you. So we're talking today about Sequester, Season 4, Episode 6, Date Night. And what was your overall thoughts of the episode there, Jojo?
One of my favorite episodes, for sure.
Why was it one of your favorite episodes?
I thought the gameplay was beautiful. I love the fact that each person had 3 minutes with every player in the game to talk, to compare notes. And I loved the setup in general. The vignettes were beautiful. The production's always really great this season in general, but it was beautiful. Loved everything about it. Loved how everyone looked. Everyone looked beautiful. Ready for it. Love Josh's question every time. Are we fucking tonight? I'm like, yep.
Jojo. Oh boy. I was shocked you're wearing pants. You don't usually wear pants.
It's cold here in Canada. Hi, Dolores.
Hello, Dolores. Happy New Year if you haven't said Happy New Year yet. So I'm ready to hear your 411 on this episode. For me, it was first date night. This was my first truly watched season, watched previous episodes, but this is a live action. I have to admit, kind of hooked. Yes, I think that they definitely, the cast is hookable. Like they all have unique perspectives and like they're just different personalities and energies, and I'm really enjoying seeing how they all kind of intertwine. So I think it's a really good introduction to Sequester. People haven't seen seasons before. I think it's quite perfect in that sense. I totally agree with you. I love this season. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think all seasons have been great. I loved 2. I loved 3. This is definitely my favorite so far. And even season 1 was good. So Dolores, go on a little binge watch. Love your life. I started binge watching in March, I think. So I was hooked. I was up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, like unable to stop pressing next.
You just let it go until like it just like automatically plays the next episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back to back.
Yes, Dolores. Hi. So cute. Hi, Joseph. How are you? So Audrey and her team, damn good episode, I'll say, that they were some legitimate questions on would this all fit in one episode. Around 65 minutes in, Audrey confirmed it did. Felt like 2 episodes. Yeah, like it was a little bit long, like but I really liked the content of it. But yeah, I don't know how they could maybe change that. What are you thinking?
Honestly, like the more the better. Last night especially it was a total escape for an hour and 36 minutes. I was invested, no pressing pause. My partner kept trying to talk to me. I'm like, fuck off. I'm trying to watch the show. Give me peace.
Are you wearing sandals?
No, I'm wearing like just, I don't know if this works.
Oh, maybe you look like sandals. Oh yeah, your regular Cons, your Converse. She put on a binge watch. So yeah, no, the only reason why I'm saying that it was a little bit long was sometimes like it was just hard for me to keep up the dates. And I'm like, okay, who has talked to who? Like, so maybe, I don't know how they could do it, but breaking it up in some sort of way. I really liked how there's the different chapters and a little bit of the vignettes. Yeah. I thought that was a nice way to break it up. And so like, that's just like a minor critique for me watching, but, it was definitely, I would say my favorite episode on a whole. I love this, this twist. I think it was introduced, season 2 or season 3, one of the, I can't remember which season it was, and I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so fun.
Yes.
I've been trying to think about ways to incorporate something similar into the live action game that I help run. And so, because like if it's like, mob boss that has to talk to all the different people, like, I don't know, I like the fact that people have to talk strategy with everybody and get their own agendas across. Like, I think that that's really fun, and like, I love that part. So, and it forces people to kind of take a stand. If they don't give anything, they're going to just be like, okay, let's just get rid of that person. So like, people really have to bring in their A game. So it starts the episode with, I don't remember who was going in, but they said that the advantages are not going to be replenished. And so because Josh has an LOS, and we know that Jacob has some sort of battle match walker, so Spencer going in a third time, we know for a fact he's going to be getting a big goose egg. How do you feel about Spencer not being able to nab an advantage?
Well, I mean, no surprise. He needs one. But I was really looking forward to seeing if he would actually come into this round with a clean slate. And I thought his speech at the beginning was pretty heartfelt. And people would have been smart to not target him this round. I don't think he needed this round to go. Someone could have drug him into a battle back. So I thought he actually, as a whole, navigated this round pretty good. I don't actually thought he started out pretty shaky. With Muna, he did great, but as soon as him and Muna were finished, it did start a little bit of a chain reaction. He was opening up a little bit too much to whoever was next. I think might have been Brendan. I mean, we'll get to all of the rounds clearly, but I think he did a pretty good job of coming back and not stirring the pot too much.
Well, I think that he was in a position where there other targets were starting to emerge, and like him coming back a third time, that people are just kind of like, okay, maybe we need to do something a little bit differently. And he's in such a position where he can only just say yes to anybody but him. And so I think that that's how he was able to play this round, by like just being like, okay, I'll do whatever you want, and he's able to just support somebody else's decision on how the round was going to go, as long as it wasn't him. So Brendan definitely wants it to be Spencer that comes back, because he feels like he needs shields in this game. And Spencer does come out, and he does have a few words for everybody, and he does want to clean the slate moving forward. And the only thing is, it's really hard to clean the slate when you're the easy person to put up, because you're mad at everybody. It's kind of like when we talk about in Big Brother, the perpetual pawn. It's like they've already been a pawn, so it's easy for them to be on the block again. So I think that is something that's going to be very difficult for him to overcome, and especially since he's not made anybody feel great. So with the fact that he's only taken women into the battle match, doesn't really sit well with that many people. So I just don't know how much he's going to be able to overcome, since I don't think people enjoy his character that much in this game so far.
Yeah. I mean,
so Jacob does hope to see Spencer as well. Because Jacob seems to believe that Spencer only has Jacob. So what do you think about Jacob's, how he feels the house is looking right now?
I love that he's actually looking at how the house feels, but I don't necessarily think that his assumptions are correct. I think assumptions in games in general can really, not be what you think they're going to be. And if Jacob was looking around and saw Billy and Muna literally feeling like, hey, we're good here, maybe jump on board with that instead of an elaborate plan to take out someone who's not coming after you this week, especially. Mm-hmm. This could have been the time. Obviously, he would want to keep Marcelo safe, because I do believe that Marcelo is his true final two, the person that he does trust the most. But his assumptions on Natalie's game and on Spencer's game have been kind of off. We're all aware that Spencer's been getting voted out literally three weeks in a row. That's not a surprise. But to buddy up with him after coming back, that makes sense. but Spencer's not completely solo. He's going to be malleable and flexible and willing, especially this round, to make a deal, find allies, or to show that what he's saying is true. I truly believe that starting that conversation with Muna was his best case scenario, because people will take Muna, but I think Muna was being straight up when she said, "I'm not going to come for you," and other people kind of know that maybe throwing Spencer under the bus to Muna is not a bad idea.
For sure. Joseph says it's hard to clean the slate with this cast. The whole Muna versus Spencer feud is the narrative of the season. Will the fact that he won 3 battle matches help him if he's in the final 2? I don't think that Spencer can win against anybody at this moment in the final 2. I don't think, because there's a lot of women on the jury right now. I just don't think that he can get the votes. What do you think? Just right now, how the board is set up.
Right now with the board set up, unless he battles his way to final 4 and someone thinks that they're going to beat him in a final 2, he could use that argument to win. I just don't think his social game up until now has been strong enough. So I don't think anyone's really cheering or rooting for Spencer, even though he does have a wicked story. That is pretty clear. So it just matters how he puts other people on the jury.
I just don't think that he has the finesse that he would need to sell this story to this particular cast for how he's made everybody feel. So, I mean, it's possible. Obviously, anything's possible. But right now, as I'm looking at his game, that even though he has the best story, I don't think that people are cheering him on and wanting to vote for him, kind of like you said.
There's no cheerleaders for Spencer right now.
No.
We're watching that.
So roses are red, violets are blue. I have a Sequester date for you. So were you excited to see date night?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great concept in general. It's a great round. Everything about it was pretty exciting, and I was more curious about what the setups would be early on. But at the end of the day, it really matters what happens in your last date. Like, you don't know if you're literally about to get fucked, if you're going to get a second date out of this, if you're about to get ghosted, who knows? So right? It's like in the first date, I guess. Is it going to end with a kiss, or is it going to end with a delete me from your whatever app I met you on in 2021 world? Though no one should be dating right now. Stay home.
Right.
And if you're watching this, stay home. No dates.
Or like, an online Bumble Zoom date or something.
Sure. And all that's good.
So I love the Sequester films. That I like a creative little episode or whatnot. It was kind of black and white, silent movie era with like the, I don't know what to call it, black and white vignettes with camera, like film. It looked like old film.
Like noir.
Noir's later, but
film, but people are speaking.
And I might not have remembered all the chapters. I think I wrote down most of them, but we'll see. If I forget a chapter, please let me know. I thought it was also it kind of telegraphed kind of the sections of dates. So the first one was chapter 1, forking the path. And just to explain, so basically everybody was going on it was a 3-minute date, correct? 3-minute date with everybody in the game. So, and it's just once. And then after everybody goes on their date, they're going straight into their voting. It's going to vote. Yep. So what I find really interesting about it, and I kind of spoke to it before, was that like you don't know what everybody is saying, and you never get a chance to reconvene with your allies and get on the same page. And so it's kind of like you have to push your agenda, get on the same page, and know how to vote correctly through broken telephone, basically. It's like, okay, he would say this because she would say that, and she would say this to this person because she would say that. And so does he mean this or does he mean that? And like really deciphering where the truth is what I find fascinating. And I mean, it's a twist. Ooh, oh boy. Hey, Spencer. Hey. Hey, how are you?
Relieved after last night, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
And we also have Dolores. I agree. Spencer needs to go on an apology tour. Spencer, are you hearing this? Hopefully you do. The jury may be bitter, and I think that they will be very bitter. If he survives next round, he may win it all because he no longer has any power. That's true.
I mean, there is power in literally winning 3 battle backs, though. That is a massive threat still.
Absolutely. And I think that from how the rest of this episode goes, it's possible now that he might be able to fade into the background, because I think that new threats are emerging and new, rivalries are coming up. And so he definitely has an opportunity now to be on the right side of the numbers, which is good. I don't think that he's on anybody's immediate target list right now. I think that he can hide.
He still got 2 votes this week. When it comes down to it.
Remember?
Sorry?
Do you remember who voted for him in the end?
Billy and Brendan.
And who?
Billy and Brendan.
Brendan. But that doesn't matter really, right?
With Brendan gone? No. We'll get there. Sorry.
It's okay. You're excited? So chapter 1, forking paths. So we first start off with Josh and Brendan. And Josh really wants to pull in Natalie. And so what do you think about this as a threesome that's kind of emerging through date night?
It made sense. The previous day, Natalie went up to Brendan and said, Josh wants to do a final 3 with us. Let's do it. My only thing is, a final 3 in Sequester, I get the logic of saying maybe the 3 of us can work together, but it really is just getting to the final 4 and then playing your final 4 hand the way that it plays out. I get that they might want to work together and try to navigate that, but I'm thinking is making a final 2 the smarter route, or I don't know. I think it did instill trust with the 3 of them, so it made sense and a good way to start off the round.
Well, I think, though, the reason why it makes more sense to do a final 3 right now, or 3 people working together, is a voting block of 3 sometimes can be enough to get your target out.
Spoilers.
Exactly. So I think that not thinking me and you final 2, because you can't really predict that. You can, as you said, you can only really guarantee to get to the final 4, because after that it gets a little bit muddled. But being able to have a strong 3 in one direction that's going to be beneficial for all 3 of you, I think that is more so the intention of having a trio as opposed to just having a duo or a foursome. I mean, a foursome would probably be a little bit better, but then that's too many people, I think. 3's a good number to get on the same page with,
Yeah, that's fair.
So we have Marcelo and Billy. And Billy, she's pretty bang on with her energy reading. The first thing that I thought as it was, Marcelo looked like he was being completely fake here. I was like, ooh, he's really looking like, okay, hi, yeah, I'm so excited to see you. I was like, that seems a little bit too much here, but Billy also called it. And so what do you think about Billy's reads on Marcelo and his integrity?
Billy, for the majority of this game, has been kind of spot on, in my opinion. I think Marcelo should have just been straight with her and said, I'm nervous, I'm scared. If he was that visibly uncomfortable at the beginning of this round, he was visibly uncomfortable. People absolutely aren't taking Marcelo as a serious game player. Even if it's strategy for him to play scared, it's not the most respected stance to take on this during this game in general. So I don't know, shoot your shot, say a name. It's the first round. He might have been worried about this round, but getting Billy on your side and saying, Billy, yes, I agree, the 2 of us, you want me to say a name? Here's the name. Throwing a limb out there.
The thing, though, is that Marcelo also didn't get great vibes from Billy. And so he felt as though Billy came across as not caring that much if he was in the game and didn't necessarily want to work with him and wasn't being someone that you openly want to strategize with and throw out a name. I think that it was self-preservation mode. And I think that he was holding back because he didn't really feel safe with being completely open and honest with her at this moment. So I understand why he didn't say anything, because I just, especially if it's the first few dates, because if he says the wrong thing and she starts pushing that, it could totally come back around and bite him in the butt. So I think that he's just hedging his bets here.
Yeah, I just don't think you need to hide anything with your first date. As lame as that sounds, a lot of people in general, in real life, you're going on a first date, you want to give off your best first impression. If this is the first time you're meeting someone, you want to see if there's any chemistry. So going in open and honest, I think, is probably the best strategy for the first.
See, for me, I wouldn't say anything for the first date.
I don't necessarily think he had to say a specific name, but saying like, Billy, let's get on the same page here. I'm super nervous. I don't really know where your head's at. Let's lay all that out on the table. Use a minute and a half to get that shit over with and hopefully come to some sort of positive ending for the last 3 minutes. Kind of like what Muna and Spencer were on the verge of doing before they ran out of time.
Exactly. So next up is Muna and Spencer. And, they want to keep the threats in there. I do think it's a positive thing for Muna to find a commonality with Spencer. So he could believe that she wasn't coming for him and be like, hey, like, we've been to the battle backs and battle matches and battle backs. Like, okay, let's work together to at least get the people that haven't had to have this experience, cut short from all these other people playing the game. Like, let's put some other people in the hot seat. I think that was a really good strategy for her to instill some trust in Spencer that, like, hey, like, let's stick together, because we should never be the easy boat for people to throw into the battle match because we've already been there. Let's take all of us that have had that experience and let's go for the people that have been sitting kind of pretty for the last 4 days or whatever. So I thought it was a very smart strategy for her to suggest that to Spencer.
Yeah. Same page, 100%.
Joseph says, God, I like Billy. She can smell BS from a mile away and is using her social skills well to her advantage. Yes, but I am worried that she might be allowing her emotions to get the best of her. Hopefully she'll bounce this back, but we're going to talk probably a little bit more about how her reaction at the end of this episode. But I'm wishing the best for Billy, but I'm worried that she might be too angry with people to bounce back. Laura says, yes, Marcelo is a walking faker. Poor Marcelo states that he spoke too much, but he kept talking more and more and more. I was like, dude, just stop talking. And Josh, what do you all think about Josh? I think Josh is playing actually a very, 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 very good game. He started out worrying us with the fact that he was, going and looking for LOSs and kind of appearing sketchy, him being the target the first week. But I feel as though he's become a major component in other people's strategy. And I think that that's really good, that people see you as a working piece of their game.
Yeah.
What do you think, Josh?
Same. I'm on the same page. I think Josh is kick-ass. He really impressed me the first episode and started here, and now it's slowly going up. Whenever I watch reality television, I just want the women to do well. I'm always girl power. I pick a female winner. I want it to happen in everything that I watch. Josh might be my number one right now.
Really?
Yep. I think he's playing that well.
He is playing really well, especially from.
I also have a thing for gingers, and that should come as no surprise to anyone. So,
Josh, you might be fantasized by Jojo here.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was going to say other way around, no, but.
Joseph says Marcelo's going to benefit in his mind from Muna versus Spencer feud. He wants to do nothing and win this game for it, as the votes show later. Wow, he escaped big time. Marcelo, I think, though, is going to be like, he's been playing this nervous game, and you kind of were calling him out for that. I think that he has to drop that act after this episode. I think that it's his not knowing what's going on and scared that it's going to be him act. I think that that's done. I think that it seems as though his true, persona is going to come through. I don't remember who said it, but somebody mentioned that how safe Marcelo must have felt for coming to the battle or like the elimination ceremony
in sandals.
Yeah, flip-flops.
It was brilliant.
Well, it's true. Like, are you ready to battle back? It's kind of like, in Survivor, if you don't bring your bag to tribal council, you think that you're really safe.
Yep.
Like in Big Brother, if you are, you're going home, usually you're wearing like a nice outfit, you're not ready to do like the wall comp or whatever. So I think that it might have been a mistake for him in his whole I'm weak and I'm scared kind of attitude that he's been taking to be wearing flip-flops. Like he should have been putting on the running shoes and like look ready to play. And
not even flip-flops, thongs. They weren't like a peel into. It's like that shit can break in any scenario.
What do you mean it's not a flip-flop?
No, I said it's
they're flip-flops.
It was a thong like flip-flop, not just like stick your feet in. You have
slides. Slides. Flip-flops or thongs are the same thing. Slides are are not flip-flops.
Thongs are not flip-flops? Yes, they are.
Thongs are flip-flops. Slides are not flip-flops.
Slides aren't flip-flops.
No.
So wait, I don't know. I still would consider them flip-flops.
They're not though. Flip-flops are thongs.
Then what you call them slides?
Oh, slides, babe.
Damn, I have to rethink my entire vocabulary.
It reminds me, like I changed somebody's life once. It was like, I don't know, 15 years ago in Montreal. And this guy was like, oh yeah, like, I grew up in a bigger family and I always got these hand-me-downs. And I'm like, sorry, what? And he's like, yeah, hand-me-downs. I'm like, hand-me-downs? And he's like, what? Like, I always thought it was hand-me-downs. I'm like, no, it's like hand me down some clothes. And he's like, you changed my life here. And I did. So this is one of those moments. Flip-flops and thongs, same thing.
Same thing, yes. But slides, what are slides?
Slides aren't flip-flops.
But they're sandals.
Josh is here too. I have to join the team. Can somebody weigh in on this? Because Laura says sandals. Okay, Jojo, sandals.
Slides are still sandals.
Slides are sandals, sure. I still
flip-flops. Okay, fine. I still think a slide is a flip-flop and a sandal. Flip-flops in the back.
Not flip-flops. Slides are sandals. Yeah, okay, slides are, I guess there's slides or sandals. Slides don't split the toes. Exactly. But so Josh, are slides flip-flops? No.
Your foot still flops in them.
But like you hold your toes and it flop. You can hear the sound of flip-flop when you're wearing flip-flops.
And slides.
No, not slides.
Audience slides.
No, I just Oh, yes, you are a celebrity in this chat room, Dolores. Absolutely. Sandals is the umbrella. What does that mean?
It's all consuming. It's all
oh, sandals is the umbrella of flip-flops. Sandals equals I can't even with this conversation anymore. Well, okay, I'm gonna stick to it. Jojo, believe whatever you're gonna believe. Sandals is the umbrella. I agreed here. I feel like slides and flip-flops fall under the umbrella of sandals, but I do not feel as though a slide falls under the category of flip-flops. I feel like flip-flops and thongs are the same thing. Slides are on its own in its own category of sandal.
I mean, you're dead set, so.
Well, thank you for weighing in with us here, guys. I'm going to do a poll later. So who else is next? So we have Natalie and Jacob having a little convo. So Natalie was actually considering at this point to potentially take out Muna here. So Jacob pitches this. What do you think? Did you expect this in this moment? Like, do you think it's the right move? Like, how do you think when the first inception of Muna being the vote came to be?
Yeah, why not take her out right now? I actually think it would be fine to have her stay another week or two, but I think if you have the shot now, why not take it? He's starting off with someone that he clearly thinks doesn't have anyone. She's his number one. So why not float? Why not be honest and say, like, this is what I want to do. Let's do it. Let's make this happen. We'll lock in right now. Come up with a plan. The plan made sense. My only concern throughout the entire episode was how depressed Jacob was during his confessional. I thought, this can't work out for him well because he is not a happy camper right now. How does this not work? Because he's literally finding the right people to talk about getting a vote on Muna who are down to do so. It made sense. It was definitely a snaky, dirty move to throw his name in the mix, but that's the game.
Now, do you think though, because so his rationale was that he didn't want Muna to get any footing, so to create like some, like to be able to get really far in the game. Yeah. Do you think that that was the right move for him though? Because like I was kind of like, yes, Muna is dangerous. She's really good at this game. She's really likable, and she will most likely win the vote in the end against most people. But I kind of felt that like, I don't know, it was just a little, I think it was like one move premature for him to decide to take her out at this particular round. I don't know, I felt bad about it.
Yeah, it wasn't like an enjoyable watch. I was like, I gotta say, I'm rooting for Natalie. I think she's fucking killing it. I love that she also took ownership. Yes, exactly. 100%.
You never know what twist will come your way by Sequester Bot if you have the chance, take it. You know what? You're right there. That's true.
It just felt a little dirty, and dirty's fine. I can respect some dirt. Like, I love being filthy. Let it loose. It just wasn't enjoyable to watch, like, Muna and Billy be so excited to like have their time with Jacob, when I actually think Natalie did the bulk of this work with finding the right people to talk to, even though we'll get to it later with how many votes who got. Take the shot. Yeah, go for it. It worked.
Yes, Joseph agrees with that. So I like that Jacob took this chance. There have been times that players don't take the chance when it's given to them and it bites them in the butt later on. Yeah, I'm eating my words here a little bit. Yeah. I guess because Muna just came back and the game means a lot to her. I guess like I never really fully liked people feeling duped, and I knew that him playing up their relationship, it just was going to really hurt her, and I guess that's what I wasn't looking forward to. So whether it's a good game move, I think that all the lying that was going to be happening around it, and then for her to feel maybe duped or stupid or let down or disappointed, like I just wasn't really looking forward to her reaction to the vote going that way. So maybe that's why I'm kind of hesitant.
Yeah, but at the same time, I really think that everybody really cares. Everybody wants to. I don't think anyone's technically playing for second place right now or thinking, I'm out of luck. Like, if I get there, there's no way I can win. I think people are actively playing, and that's what I've loved about this season, is that there is no duds. The first episode, yeah, people were being quiet or the power shifted. The power shifting every week, in my opinion. So take the shot at Muna when you get it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So Laura says, agrees with you. Jacob appears stiff in confessionals. I wonder what the timeline is. Like, do you think that those confessionals are after this whole day is done and they go back and they're recounting, or do you think it's happening in the moment? There's like after the, I don't know, like what do you think the timeline's like?
I was trying to figure it out.
You're allowed to tell us, Spencer, Brenty, and who else was here? Josh. You're allowed to let us know how the structure of these confessionals work. We would love to know insider information here.
I picture them like I just picture like Audrey coming up and waking them up in the night and being like, "It's your time, come." And they're like, "Yes, okay, we're doing this now. Sure, 3 a.m. Sure."
Wear this shirt.
Brendan had his hair up for some of his confessionals, so I think maybe that was after the battle. Oh fuck, no! I keep spoiling.
Most people that are watching know what happened.
Good. I'm sure. If you're not, then, or if you don't, too bad. So sad.
Hi, Phil. So Phil says, how much did it suck Brent didn't make it to date night? I know, Brent, you must have been really upset for sure. Because I think that you would have, I think whatever you wanted to happen on date night would have happened. And Brent, if you could share, who would you have targeted or hoped to have gone home for date night? If you could share. Actually, all of you guys, if you could share. I think that he would have really benefited from one-on-one private chats. He could have made some good deals. Yes, I do think that if last round that twist wasn't what it was, and Muna had just put up Brendan and Spencer like even Brendan expected her to do, if getting up Spencer was the objective, like it would have been nice to see Brent make it to this round, because he would have, I think, steered the direction of this twist. And I'm really curious to see how that would have turned out. You know, the sliding doors of Sequester.
Too bad, so sad.
Too bad, so sad. Frank, hi Frank, you are right. If you don't get Muna out, she will win. It's true.
If you don't get everyone out, though, they'll win. Like, someone's gonna win.
No, but they're talking about throwing it onto Muna now.
I think if you get a shot at Muna, take it, sure. Unless you think she's beneficial to be like someone like Billy, who wants to play this game with Muna. It's benefit, like they played the round correctly, knowing who's not going to be going against Muna. Everyone thinks of themselves as Muna as their number one for the major, or being that's what has been being set.
You okay?
No.
Well, Joseph says it's almost Muna's game to lose at this point, with the next round being final 7. Yeah, she's in a decent spot.
Because final 6 is going to be Natalie versus Billy.
That's true, right?
They're really gunning for that 6th spot.
Frank says, other than Muna, I think that Josh and Spencer, Spencer has the best game to win with. Yeah. I mean, everybody does have a winning game argument. It just depends on how well they can articulate it to the jury and who they're sitting beside. But I do think that everybody has a shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Brent says no one is playing for second place. You are right, Jojo. Brent agrees with you. Everyone wants the money. Confessionals are done after the battle match before the next round starts. Okay, so that's probably why Jacob was kind of feeling deflated, because he did just experience that kind of fight with Muna and Billy. So that makes sense. I was exhausted this last round of confessionals. You can tell I was woken up at 4 in the morning. Really? Are you being funny?
I think he's being both.
I mean, I guess it takes a while. I guess each person being like an hour or so, and the battle match is at night, so it could be till like, I don't know, 10 or 11. Who knows? Joseph, and if I'm right, they're on point where they film multiple rounds in a day. They're almost going nonstop. Yeah, I do wonder how, like, if there's any social interact. Like, is there people cooking for you, or are you guys cooking for yourself, or like, you guys get fed?
A lot of food. Like, my anxiety would be through the goddamn roof.
I know it's very stressful, these games, but once you're in it, you're in.
Yeah, and you need the fuel, so take what you can get.
Josh, I was reading your body language. You reminded me of a young Al Pacino in The Godfather. The way you sat, pretty interesting. I mean, you definitely had like that mob boss kind of.
Are we fucking tonight?
Yeah, like, so what's going on? What's your story? I think also with like how the vignettes were kind of set up, it allowed for people to take on this kind of mob bossy character.
Yeah.
Brent, notice Josh sitting posture as well, Dolores. Yes. Uber Eats? Yeah, I'm wondering, like, how do they feed us? Okay, so they feed us. Josh Smith is the field producer. He fed us well. That would be the best part of it, would be like not worrying about mealtime, because that's what would be annoying for me. Like I host a live reality game with my friend Nick, who you know, and you know that's something that we always have to consider. It's like, okay, you guys have to get your food ready, like, and eat and be ready to start playing by either 10 or 11 in the morning. And so what usually ends up happening is the people that are evicted, they usually come back and they start doing the cooking the meals and stuff like that for the people still in the game.
Poisoning them.
No, but that's kind of how it's been working. But it would be so nice to have the budget, though, to have it catered, you know, and just like, you don't have to worry about food.
Yes. I gotta give me 5 minutes. I just have to make a sandwich.
Right?
Round short. Starving.
Eating while you're like doing, it should have been actually a date where like spaghetti, they can do the Lady and the Tramp moment, you know?
Oh, that would have been, little appetizers would have been cute.
Little appies.
Yeah.
Little appies. So who do we have next? We have Natalie and Jacob. We talked about a little bit Jacob's very intricate plan, but Natalie is able to absorb what he said and start spreading what he's saying without outing the fact that he is the one that concocted this plan. I thought that was really, really good on her. Yeah, you're agreeing.
Definitely.
Chapter 2, the story. So if we start off the second part of these dates with Josh and Muna together, talking about how Spencer has had a great arc, which it's definitely true. And, you know, thinks that they should course correct. If he course corrects and if he's in the battle match again and he picks a guy, he may be able to start weeding back some favor with the jury. And I do think that that's true. I think that his game is salvageable if he makes some of the right moves.
Yeah, reading the room. It's been pointed out. There's no way Spencer's going to be dragging. Well, never say never, so who fucking knows?
True. But Dr. Muna never came to a consensus, though, of who to be targeting. So I think this is probably why it went the way it did, because Muna needed to have started pushing another name sooner to have more votes going in one direction, because they were able, because Jacob started from his first date to be pushing Muna. And so he was able to get more traction, in my opinion, that way. And I think that it was a missed opportunity for her to have more votes on somebody else. No?
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
What does that mean? What does yeah mean?
Yeah means I get what happened, obviously, with Muda and Spencer at the beginning. They did need to clear the air, but sticking with the three names, Marcelo, Billy, Brendan, one of those three being the target, they could have easily narrowed down Billy off the list and then gone with Marcelo or Brendan by finishing the round on time. If you see you have 25 seconds left, I'm assuming there's some sort of clock that you're watching to know how much time you have. Take a look saying, okay, we have 30 seconds. We need to pick a name by the end of this. So
yeah, I would
didn't help.
Probably, especially coming back from the battle back, I would be really on edge that I would just be the easy revolving door, and I probably would be playing more aggressively. So I do wish that she had started pushing a name sooner. So next date is Natalie and Marcelo. Natalie tells him that she's voting out Muna. Marcelo's a little bit annoyed with Brendan. But this is one thing that he started saying. He said it about two separate people, Marcelo, that he was proud of Natalie for like starting to play the game.
Spencer too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just was kind of like,
I don't know. You don't know what's been happening the last 5 days. Leave them alone.
I just was kind of like, oh, because you are just like, he is in a good position and people just think that he's not doing anything and he's weak. And he has a secret relationship with Jacob that like nobody really knows about. Pardon?
They do. People know.
But they're not really coming for it.
Yes, it's not written in the stars in front of everyone. But there are definitely people that are aware that these two were close playing minis this past summer. That's not something hidden. Moon is very much aware of it. Someone like Moon.
My point is that like I just was kind of eye roll about Marcelo, like deciding like it's so condescending, being like, oh, so proud of you for starting to play the game. when he hasn't really had to be. Yes, he was in a good position, so he set himself up that he's in a pretty good position. He hadn't had to, you know, work to stay, but it was just a little bit condescending for me that, like, when she watches it back, she'll probably be annoyed. I'd be really annoyed if he said that about me. Be like, you don't know what I've been going through. Get out of here. F off.
Yeah. Especially it's the second time that Natalie's been given a bit of shade. Like even when Billy said it initially, I'm like, Billy, quit telling her to start playing the game. She's playing her own game. Not everybody has to play the same. There are no rules when it comes to gameplay. You're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want, technically. So by judging someone that much, I don't know, and to their face especially, it's different in a confessional. But if he had said, like, Natalie, I'm so happy that you're playing this game, it's like, okay, Marcelo, what are you doing? Are you playing this game? Like, what's going on here?
So next up is Jacob and Billy. And I really, sometimes I love when people are duping the other person, but it just really broke my heart to see Jacob really laying it on thick with Billy. Talking about the fake plan that he wants to Luna, that you know, he doesn't want to see her go again. And Billy, like, is really believing him and saying that it warms her heart that he's having this perspective, that he wants to see her stay, and she feels really good about this. And I don't know, it just really hurt me.
Yeah, I mean, as a viewer, I can understand why. I felt the exact same way, but it is game, and I don't know, like, I get what Jacob was doing. It just didn't feel good watching it. Yeah. I wasn't celebrating his great move.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Exactly. Like, it's definitely a good move. How he's doing it is quite masterfully, we'll say. But I guess maybe because I like the people that he's doing it to, maybe that's why it's kind of like, oh, I don't want him to do that to people. So next date is Spencer and Brendan. Talk about how they need each other, need to keep the big threats into the game. They need to stay together. I mean, that's the usual. That if you're a comp beast, you got to stay with the comp beast. If you're, you know, you kind of have to stay with your like person in the game, just because, you know, you can be a shield for each other. So obviously that's the angle that Brendan wants to take. Because it would be really easy for him to be centered out and be like, let's get rid of Brendan if Spencer's not there. So yeah, no surprises there from me. So Spencer wants to throw a name, and that name is Marcelo. What did you think about that being who he wanted to throw out there?
Yeah, I think actually Marcelo was in more trouble this episode than I had initially thought when I first saw the round begin. Because it makes sense for people to looking someone else in the eye and saying, this is what I want to do. I don't think a lot of people are really looking out for Marcelo in the game. Obviously Jacob is, and other people he has worked with here and there, but you also hear him say, well, we haven't spoken a lot of game. For example, Josh, or, well, I know that Billy's not going to be honest with me. It's like, well, I don't really think you have that much confidence in the people that are playing around you, so it would make sense for him to potentially be a big target for this round.
Phil says, I don't understand when people say that they're proud of how people are playing during the game, as if anyone is playing with the purpose of making making others proud. That's what I'm saying. Like, F off. Like, you're proud of me. Like, you're like, oh, you're allowed to play with me because, you know, you graduated from, like, you know, just an observer, and now you're, like, playing the game. Yeah. I'd be pissed. I agree. I'm not playing anybody to be proud. No. Not me. I'm playing to win. But do you know what, though? Making him being proud of them, maybe that's actually him code saying, I respect your game more, and maybe I would vote for you to win. Maybe before I was like, I wasn't even considering you someone that I'd vote to win, but now I can maybe see that that's a possibility. So maybe that's his proud is the best word.
Appreciation with it, obviously. Like, maybe Marcelo is someone that, oh God, why am I at low battery? My phone should be charging.
Your phone is the worst.
Charging. I'm holding up a goddamn selfie stick. Not a selfie stick, a little tripod. Nothing small about my tripod.
Is city state make an automatic alliance sometimes, but you could. I think that Muna was using that as a reason to just like not vote. Well, to vote for Spencer and have a reason. I don't think it necessarily is, but if I was playing the game and there was someone else in the house from Toronto, I'd be like, hey, Toronto girls sit together, or Toronto crew stick together. Let's do the Six Alliance. Like, of course, you want to find a commonality with somebody to have a strong bond with, when you, especially if you don't know anybody that well. So yeah, it could be. I mean, I would be considering people from the same area as working together, regardless if they are or they aren't. So you might as well lean into the information that everybody has and use it to your advantage, as opposed to it biting you in the butt. So we got chapter 3, the precipice of betrayal. Precipice. Natalie and Josh are starting out this dating set of scenes, talking about the trio. So bringing in, it was Spencer. Who's the other third person in the trio? Was it Brendan or Spencer?
Brendan, Josh.
And wait, what did I write here? I can't even read my writing. Natalie doesn't intend to. Oh, but Natalie doesn't intend to honor the trio, which I was like,
flexible. Yes. I mean, won't go to spoilers, but oh no, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were frozen. Won't go to spoilers, but she doesn't really have to worry about that anymore. So. Ooh.
Ooh.
But I mean, in the moment, yeah, would like go for it. Sure, the three of them could actually make some damage in the game. Yeah.
I mean, you have to say yes to everything. So.
If the three of them voted together, then that would have helped this round.
Exactly. Next date is Brendan and Marcelo. And wait, Brendan's going to throw Marcelo into the bus. Tells him Muna and Jacob's plan. Did Marcelo do that? I can't remember now.
To who? Marcelo threw.
Tells Muna is Jacob's plan. Marcelo must have told that to Brendan. No, I wrote it down.
I don't think Marcelo ratted out Jacob. God no.
I'm not sure what I wrote there. I was really tired when I watched this.
There was a lot happening with Spencer being blamed and Brendan being blamed for the Muna Jacob name being out there. So that was there was definitely some painting going on. Yeah, and the fact that Muna doesn't necessarily really trust Brendan or Spencer. It could have been either one. It would make sense that those would be the two people pushing her name. I don't remember.
I did write down also, though, that Brendan wanted to tell Muna that Spencer is dragging her name. And so maybe Marcelo did say something to Brendan. Like, I don't know why I'd write that down for no reason. So
I don't know.
I don't remember. I'm sorry, guys. Enlighten me if just to get me on the right track here. So next date up is Jacob and Muna, and the music. Did you hear? It was like a flute or a violin. Like, it was just like, oh, I couldn't hear it. I was so sad. And, she's letting her guard down here with Jacob, and the violin is playing, and they're both getting teary-eyed. And I'm sad that Muna is buying it, because.
But why wouldn't she buy it? Like,
I know. Of course, I would buy it too. I would buy it too. And Muna buys it so much that she tells Jacob about her LOS.
Well, I've got a couple questions at the end of this, so
okay,
get there.
Well, I mean, she doesn't know that she's dancing with the enemy here at all, and so he's gotten more information, which is good for her, and this makes his plan even better for him to know that she could possibly go out with an LOS in her pocket. So it just makes her even more tasty of a kill. Oh, felt bad. Next up, Billy and Spencer. I don't know if you noticed this, but they're both sitting in like separate chairs, and I felt like they were waiting for like and action and for them to go and hug, because it just seemed like they started hugging like action. Okay, hug. That's the first thing that I noticed. They're waiting for their cue.
Yeah.
start with a hug. And Spencer's saying that his date with Billy was the one that he was most excited to have.
Yeah.
Where did this come from? Did you see that coming?
Yeah, Billy had said at the beginning of the episode, I believe, that she felt really good about Spencer, that she'd been supportive of him the previous round, or he assumed that she was being supportive of him. And yeah, I think that they do have, probably out of everyone besides Jacob, Spencer probably does really feel pretty comfortable with Billy.
What do you think about Billy saying to him that he has to humble himself?
Good advice. But he's also, I'm assuming he's aware of it. Like Spencer, you know, like that your social game is kind of shit, even if you were put in that position in general. So yeah, being told to be a little bit more humbled, take the advice. Great, it's appreciated. I'm sure it was appreciated.
Yes. I am happy though that Spencer does feel like he has somebody that is not actively targeting him. I've played quite a few orgs, and one recently where I was the target for a good month. And it doesn't really feel great knowing that everything that you say, you can't get in. You can't they just didn't want to play with you. And so I felt like Natalie was in that position in the beginning of the game where people are like, well, play better. It's like, well, I don't really have the cards to play better right now. And same with Spencer. Like, it's hard for you to play better when you're put in a position when you are playing on the defensive all the time and people aren't really willing to work with you. So I was happy that it seems as though he's able to develop a little bit more of a working relationship with Spencer and Billy. So Couch Potato Queens, hello. I don't know if is this Josh? Hi, Josh. Another Josh hanging out with us. Hi, Chantele. Great episode. Loving this. Yes, Couch Potato Queens. Yes, I love your podcast. I'm going to be doing another episode of Couch Potato Queens for, I can't remember which episode. Enlighten me, Couch Potato Queens. It is Josh. Yes. Hi, Josh. Part of the RHAP class of 2020. Yes. Just a very smile face, no teeth. Like, I'm always teeth. Can't help it. So, Josh, which episode am I going to be doing with you again? Because I'll do a little pluggaroo there for you guys to all please subscribe to Couch Potato Queens. They're doing rewatches of seasons. So I covered the last 2 episodes of Survivor Borneo, the beginning of Survivor, which was really fun to, go back to where it all began, where like my obsession with Survivor and even Big Brother around that same time started. So I'm doing for Couch Potato Queens 7 and 9 of Africa. So hopefully there's a lot of like cutie patootie Ethan scenes.
Some Brandon drama. Is Kelly still around at that point?
I don't remember. I literally watched this 20 years ago. Like I watched it live, so I don't fully remember, but I'm excited to go do a rewatch here and hang out with them. And what's my date for that? The 17th, is it? Next Sunday? Sunday.
Right now?
I'm going to be doing it on Sunday, next Sunday. So please tune in. I think Monday the episode will be dropping. So a week today, they'll drop the episode at 8 p.m. unless I got all that information wrong. Ding! Why are you laughing?
Me? Oh, no. LMAO.
Oh, but I had to say, so Josh was the one that told me that I was able to do this, guys. Just want to throw that on in there. Just a little bit. But back to Sequester. So, chapter 4, I believe it's the 6 of Cups. Without the dark, we wouldn't know the warmth of the light. So Marcelo and Muna are talking together, pitching Brendan, and she thinks that Marcelo is down to work with her. And so it was so frustrating just to know that most people were lying to Muna at this point, and she does feel as though she's getting the numbers and that she's getting out her particular target. But Marcelo is not really on this plan or willing to work with her. How do you feel about this, Jojo?
Could have been a potential beautiful Final Four with clear maybe clear final twos in there. So, you know, I think Marcelo and Jacob and even Natalie, I guess Natalie and Muna didn't speak yet, but I think they did a great job of convincing Muna that she was fine and that they were on board with Brendan going, because ideally Brendan would have been the person that Muna would battle. So why not go after her? Or
Mm-hmm.
him with her.
So we also then get Jacob and Brendan telling him that Muna is the name. So Brendan at the end of the episode seems to like kind of act as though like he had no idea, but I think he did. I think he knew that Muna was going to be the direction here, right?
I don't know. I think Jacob painted it as it's me or Muna, and yeah, that makes sense. But during the final round, Brendan, like you could visibly tell how terrified he was, how scared he was. You could hear it in his voice, in the way he was threatening Billy, even though it was a slight little threat. He started to panic. So I really don't know if he thought he was being played by Muna, if he was being played by Jacob. It would make sense for that to be the case. So
Jacob is going on, let's push the agenda that he's starting, of him and Muna being the two names in order for him to be exonerated if he puts the vote on Muna, because like, well, it's me or her, and you know, pushing that narrative for himself. And so he tells Josh next that he also heard that it was him and Muna. This is good because I think Josh has already heard, I believe probably from Natalie, that that's the way that it was going. So the fact that it's continuing that way is good to just not be hearing your name and be hearing the similar story with multiple people for sure. And this is where Marcelo comes in saying that he's proud of Spencer, proud of Natalie. Eye roll. I'm sorry, Marcelo. It's an eye roll.
Apologize to Marcelo.
You said that there was a chapter Poison. I don't know where the chapter Poison came in, but we'll say it was right around here. Chapter 5, Poison. We see that Billy and Natalie have a little conversation, a little date-a-roo, and she knows that Billy respects loyalty, and I like that she has a good read on Billy, even though she keeps on kind of screwing her over. Like they both know what each other are doing to a certain extent, and Natalie's like, man, I know that I'm screwing her over again. I know she expects loyalty, and I don't think she'll ever forgive me after this one.
I still think Natalie's being underestimated, though. I really do.
Yeah,
and that's okay, but I don't think people necessarily are giving her the benefit of like being a great gamer. They might think she's good, but they might also think that she's expendable, and that's not always a good position to be in either. So I'm glad that she did do something solid this week, even if she doesn't feel that she's going to stick to the 3, or potentially might not.
Country Queen says Billy is a legend. It's true. I mean, she gets hurt though this episode, unfortunately. Billy is pushing Brendan, and so this is what the alternate plan is. So that's probably why Brendan was feeling a little bit like wary here, because like if Jacob wasn't pushing that Muna, like Brendan most likely would have been the easy vote for everybody to jump on the bandwagon with, because a lot of people were willing to push his name. So I don't know, somebody said scary round. I think that that's foreshadowing, like, it is scary because nobody really knows who's telling the truth. And like you said, it's kind of like, who's the last person that you're going to talk to? Like, that's pretty much how you'll know what the plan is going to be. So it is really scary. We've got chapter 6, where the Revengers assemble on the brighter side of the light, the brighter the light, the darker the shadow. First up, we got Josh and Spencer. Josh is hearing a lot of names, but Muna stands out to him, which is true. And Josh doesn't want Spencer out, which is also true, which I think is good for his game as well. Josh is playing a good, like, he's steering the direction of the game very subtly, that people are not recognizing that he's in so much control, I feel.
Yeah. Like I said, Josh is totally up there for me in terms of gameplay, in terms of entertainment. I think he's doing great. And he played this round really great. What people had to say about him in confessionals was positive. Muna would love to work with Josh. If someone like Muna wants to work with you, you're pretty much can be in a good spot. There are others, but still.
We next see Jacob and Marcelo having a conversation, getting on the same page about Muna. He does disclose to Marcelo that he has the battle match blocker. Well, he doesn't say what it is, but he says, I have something that can protect you if you were to be the one that is pulled in for a battle match. And so that's, solidifying that they're each other's number ones. We knew that was the case, but he's the only person that Jacob has told about this, and he trusts Marcelo enough with that information. So I think that really solidifies with Marcelo, like, okay, Jacob is pretty much always telling me the truth. Like, let's make this happen. So I thought it was a good play to share that information with Marcelo. Billy and Muna talk, and I felt like it was just kind of like, it was very Romeo and Juliet or something, like star-crossed lovers that like are it's about to have the bloodbath at the end of the play, and they don't even know that they're in danger, that Muna's in danger. And so they're just talking about, Muna tells her about the LOS that she has, that she would use it on Billy, and they're kind of really having this bonding moment. And we all know at the same time that Muna is being plotted against by her ally. It was so Shakespearean.
Painful.
It was painful, but Shakespearean.
It was cringe. Oh, actually, no, I shouldn't refer to it as cringe. Because cringe is a little like, oh God, that's off. But it was
heartful.
Yeah, heartful.
What are the last few dates? What are you saying?
Handy down.
Exactly. So Jacob and Spencer are having their final date, or one of the final dates. Jacob wants to take Spencer to the final two. I doubt that that's true, but obviously you say that to someone like Spencer. And he's surprised that Spencer keeps on forgiving him. But when you're up from the bottom, you kind of always have to just say yes to anybody that appears to be wanting to work with you. It's like you don't really have any power to be like, I can tell that you're lying to me. Like, you have to really have faith that people are saying what they mean to you. And so I know that Jacob keeps on duping him. Jacob keeps on duping Spencer, but I understand why Spencer is just like, well, I have nothing else to go on. If you're saying that you're going to be nice to me and you're going to work with me this round and you're not going to target me and you want to go to final two with me, I kind of have to say yes because everybody else is saying that I don't want to do that. So I don't know if go ahead.
The majority of the round, I think Spencer did what he wanted to do, which is stay safe, agree with everyone, take opportunities when you can get them, and try and show that you're some sort of loyal ally. Even though at this point, like, who the fuck's going to be loyal to one another? At the end of the day, they're only going to be loyal to themselves, except when you look at people like, I don't know, Muna was positive that her and Billy and Marcelo and Jacob would be fine. And otherwise, I think she would have used that LOS.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we know that she felt safe because she didn't use it. Like, that's just, I mean, it's good work on Jacob to make her feel that way. But as I said, it was very Shakespearean how this all went down. So one of the last few dates is Josh and Marcelo. They talk about Spencer, Muna, and Brendan kind of being the names that have been floating out there and wondering who they feel comfortable with. So Marcelo is trying to, get information out. Was it that way? Hold on. I can't remember which way it was which, but they both wanted to know who the other felt comfortable with without putting out a name. But eventually they do lock in on Muna, which... it was just hurt. It was painful. And like, I watched this after the episode was airing. And so I had to Twitter was just going crazy. I kept on seeing Muna's name and I was like, does that mean she's gone? I'm like, oh my gosh, come back and go out right away. I'm like, maybe this is all a misdirect. Maybe. So we have Billy. You fast forwarded?
As soon as the elimination happened, I had to know. I was like, I can't do this. I'll watch. I went back and watched it all, but I was like, I just need to know what happens.
Jojo,
No.
you can't take the suspense.
It's like when you're reading a really good book and you fall in love with a character and you're like, fuck, if they end up killing them, I'm not going to be able to enjoy the rest of this book. So you just go in the last chapter and you find out what's going down, and
I've
okay,
never,
at least I can sleep easy tonight. Book. You know,
never, ever done that. Ever.
No.
Sorry.
We're different people. So.
Apparently, I didn't know people actually did that.
Yes.
So Brendan and Billy are talking. I believe that they're the final date that happens. And Billy says to Brendan that I've heard your name from everyone, bro. I've heard your name from everyone, bro. And Dolores is on your side here. Wow. Let's do another poll. Is it hand-me-downs or hand-me-downs? Is it are slides flip-flops? And do you read the end of the book so you know what happens to the characters?
Not always. Only when you really care about someone.
I didn't know we differed in so many ways, Jojo. This is enlightening my relationship with you. Dolores, I live for spoilers considering I have and do watch soap operas. Ooh. I mean, I used to love soap operas. Girl, everybody loves to know the bootless spoilers. No, I don't. Yep. The only spoilers I like is Big Brother when I'm watching the live feeds. And I like, because I don't like not knowing what's going on in the house because I'm nosy.
Refresh.
Nosy, but I'm not. I know it's hand-me-down, Dolores.
Hand-me-down.
Maybe it's because I also like talking about these series. So knowing the boot list, it allows me to not to have like my honest opinion about things. And so maybe that's why I don't care for a boot list. Did your phone die, Jojo? Oh boy. So basically next scene is the elimination scene. And we find out that Muna is eliminated. We hear 5 whats from Billy. What? Like she definitely did not know that was coming. I think it was Brendan. You hear him say like, whoa, yo, what the fuck? Definitely the people that were voting for Brendan were blindsided. Jojo, can you hear me still? Jojo?
Yes.
You can hear me. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Is his phone dead? Probably. So with what happens, you guys can help me out in the chat then since I'm by myself. But so Muna is actually very obviously upset. She wants to know, why people did it. So she gets, oh, Jojo's back. Okay, let's see if he has a working phone. I don't know if, is your phone dead?
No, I got a phone.
You have no. Oh, okay. That's okay. Phone call's okay.
They just knocked me off.
Phone call's okay. Don't worry.
They knocked.
Didn't Brendan vote for Muna? Do you remember the votes? Did you write down the vote breakdown?
Yeah, Brendan didn't vote for Muna. No. The votes were Marcelo, Natalie, and Jacob, the 3. And then for Brendan, it was Muna
and Billy.
No, because Billy voted for Spencer. Brendan and Billy voted for Spencer. That's 2. And then who voted for Marcelo?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know that Muna voted for Brendan for sure. And then Spencer voted for Marcelo, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I could just pull it up.
I'm pretty sure it was Marcelo. Joseph, where are you?
Joseph! I mean, I'm fully going to just find this here. So basically, like a lot went down with Muna obviously feeling hurt, Billy feeling hurt. They revealed Jacob's vote. Jacob's like, well, you knew us, like it was me or you, like I had to vote for you, which we all know was a lie. And it came off as a lie in that moment. He didn't seem like he was being truthful. So I felt bad for this whole moment. You know, Billy feeling betrayed, Muna obviously feeling betrayed. And so I also felt really awful though, because Moon was like, Jacob, it's you. I'm going against you. I'm battling you, and just wants him obviously to go against him in the battle match. And he's kind of trying to cut her off to tell her that, hey, I have this battle match blocker. It's not going to be me. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And then with that, he gets the power to be able to choose who's going into the battle match. Now, it's an interesting twist, but when I was watching it yesterday with Jonathan, we were talking about, and he brought up a really good point, was that so Jacob got voted out of the game and he won his battle match, awesome, but he gets to come in and have the power to be able to put someone in the battle match that wasn't in a bad position and didn't get voted out of the game. So it kind of was a lot of power for somebody that was out of the game. You know what I mean? What do you think about who he chose to go in instead?
I think it's totally fair, to be honest. Last week, a lot of people had an issue with Muna being able to come back into the game with a willed LOS plus getting to pair everyone up, and she got a vote. So that was giving someone from a battle back a lot of power coming back in.
Fine.
To win a battle back and have the battle pass along, which means that you can also replace the person of your choosing. That's fair enough. Like that's the twist of the power. So I don't think it's a bad thing.
I think it's too much power for somebody that was on the brink of losing the game.
But we love seeing what people do with too much power, because I
would be pissed if I was Brendan, because
obviously
it was something that he wasn't able to get his hands on, right? Nothing that he could do would be able to allow him to have that same amount of power, except for almost lose the game. So that's why I think it's just really frustrating, is that like being bad at the game has allowed him to come in with power to take somebody out that was better at the game than he was. So I mean, I get it. There's twists and different ways that, you know, we're introducing these new advantages and stuff like that. I just felt that it kind of sucks that it was somebody that wasn't up for elimination. Like maybe it should have been people that got votes were who he could choose from or something, you know?
Yeah, I think there could have been an added element to maybe protect other players, but at the same time, there's been a trend this season, and everyone sitting on that jury except for now Brent didn't receive a vote for elimination. So it's just the way of the game. So it is what it is, in my opinion. I don't know.
Josh says, how do these people not realize Jacob is playing all of them? I mean, it seems obvious to us, but I guess not to them. Hi, Dion. Thanks for joining us. So Jacob should have picked Billy. He burnt that bridge. I mean, I think that would have been too
That's
cruel.
what I was for.
I thought that was what was going to happen, but that's so cruel. Okay, Joseph with the stats. Joseph says Jacob, Marcelo, and Natalie voted for Muna. Correct. Billy, Brendan voted for Spencer.
Yep.
And Spencer and Josh voted for Marcelo. And Muna voted for Brendan. She was the sole vote there. Yes. Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate you. Joseph says that he likes Muna. She's an inspiration for sure. She was pissed that she got. She's used to picking off her targets one at a time. Jacob Jones did that. Yes, I mean, she did get got, but it's makes me really uncomfortable when people play on real life relationships to their advantage in this sort of way. I'm sure the fact that they're both, you know, people of color and they had that sort of commonality, I think that hurt her even more to separate game in this situation. And that's probably what hurt me watching as a viewer, knowing that she has faith in having a commonality of life experience of being a person of color that she felt was a stronger bond than, you know, this particular game. So I do feel for her in this scenario, because it's just kind of like she would never have done him dirty like that, you know? And so it hurt. It hurt. Muna is the first player to be voted out and come back into the game, like Joseph said. It's true. I feel like what didn't bother me as much as that she came back with an LOS, because that's kind of like a usual trope of the game, or like usually how the game usually goes. And it is common for them to have a lot of power when they come back in. So they're expecting that as a potential twist. It's to be able to replace somebody with anybody that they choose was a dynamic that nobody was anticipating, because then they would have maybe played a little bit differently. And so I just don't like that when people got over a defense that they have no idea about. You know, I like having information about the potential of advantages up front and allowing people to maybe speculate about that being a possibility. But when it just comes out of nowhere and just like, oh, swipe you out, like it's not, for me, entertaining to see somebody just get bamboozled by something they didn't know was coming, you know? So
yeah.
I may be moving forward, though. Now people will know that that's a possible twist to have. They will start strategizing about it, but they didn't know this time around. So that's probably why I didn't like it. Kashmir says, did they not watch the Sequester minis? LOL, 2-time winner. I know. I think that they're forgetting this. They're forgetting. So the battle match is basically in support of the sponsor this season, which is, pardon? Warehab, which is basically help for anybody that's addicted to, is it only opioids, or is it only drugs, or is it all addiction?
I think it's substance abuse in general.
And so it was actually a lot of pertinent information that was, I thought it was a very creative way to deliver a challenge that shared a lot of information, and without it feeling like, you know, PSA about addiction. And so I thought it was pretty creative. What do you think of this challenge for the battle match?
I love a true or false, and I loved being given this big Sequester bot mask with a bunch of information on it. I wish that Brendan actually tried to study a little bit more instead of getting into Muna's head. I get the strategy, but it's also a 50-50 chance half the time. So maybe he was hoping just to, if anything, like, screw it, make it so neither one of you could actually study these pieces of paper with the information on it. If that was your strategy, really go for it instead of half-assing it. And
I think he probably realized when he started doing it, he's like, oh, wait, I'm not retaining any information here. So maybe I need to focus here.
What was it? He kept saying it over and over again. Fatigue, constipation, nausea, fatigue, constipation. I'm like, just read some numbers, some states, skim it. I don't know what to tell you, but maybe either go in fully trying to memorize or retain as much as you can, or just wing it and try and mess with Muna's pet, I guess.
So the difference of this particular competition was that if you got the answer incorrectly, there was a contraption of balls with what are they called? Piddly sticks or whatever, that you had to pull out a stick, and if any balls dropped, you lose, but first one to 7 correct would win regardless. So, or well, whatever came first. Either someone drops the ball, they lose, or someone gets to 7, they win. And they were going back and forth a lot. There was a bit of drama with pulling out those, sticks. I kind of was like, ooh, they're going to get it? Or is someone going to make the ball drop? I would like to see at the end someone pulls the balls. I'd like to see that drop. That would have been a nice little, kind of like Michelle Fitzgerald when she kicks the puzzle over after she finishes it.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see those balls drop. But yeah, in the end, Muna did better. She got to 7 first, and she ended up taking out Brendan, who was in a very great position, as we've mentioned already, but he got thrown into that battle match. So was this, was justice served? How did you feel about this being the way that the battle match went?
I mean, a part of me was hoping that, no, of course, yeah, I'm happy for Muna. I'm always going to be happy for Muna. I'm always going to root for her. Love a strong female giver. But is she coming back into a living nightmare? Maybe. This isn't good. I don't know if next week's going to be very fun when it starts.
That's Yeah, I mean, I feel as though now it's going to be a battle. Muna against Jacob might be a consistent thing for a bit. And I do feel that Muna might be the target quite often moving forward, because the longer she stays, the more her story sounds better and the more that the jury is going to want to give her the vote. So I definitely can see her being the perpetual pawn or perpetual target after this week. Frank says, I'm glad to see Brendan is gone. He wasn't really doing that much for me, so I can agree with that. I've been enjoying other people's gameplay a little bit more, personally. So do you have any other thoughts about the episode? And you guys in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. Any other thoughts? Anything we didn't touch on today?
Does Muna get to come back with her LOS, or is that canceled? Is it gone?
I feel like she alluded to the fact that she gets to keep it.
I hope so.
She said something like, nobody knows that I have an LOS or something like that, like at the end. So I feel like she gets to keep it.
Oh, and she'll also have, there will be the battle
maybe she can get
pass will be an option for her to get to choose. So that's kind of cool. She could be going in with an LOS and the battle, which is a lot of power to give one person.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a Jacob having that power used against him, you know? That seems like how that would go.
We shall see.
Do one of these guys. Hey, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. Please share this with some other people, because we would love to get to 1,000 subscribers by my birthday. My birthday's in 2 weeks. It would be such a lovely birthday present for me to get to 1,000 subscribers. Only about 412 to go. So share this with your friends if you can. We love talking to you guys in the chat, as you know. This is one of our favorite things to do, is talk to you guys. So please subscribe right down below if you have any other questions here. What's going on? Oh, Joseph says, Muna took a huge risk not using her LOS. Imagine if she voted for Marcelo. How different could this have been if Muna changed her vote or used her LOS? I know. But if she gets to come back in with it, she's in a much better position to be able to regain power in this game. Because she might be able to, she can do some damage with having both of those advantages. She gets it.
Even if she doesn't get that battle pass power, she can say she did. So I think Muna's, we all know this. Muna's really smart. She knows how to play the game. Can't wait for next episode, but
I know it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one, but it might be the sequel to this Shakespearean tragedy. Play in 6 acts. Well, do you have anything to share with the peoples, Jojo?
Oh God, do I have anything to share? No, I don't think so.
I mean, we're probably going to be doing Drag Race later on today if you guys want to join us live. Most likely maybe in the evening if we can. I haven't watched it yet, so Jojo's eye rolls. It doesn't mean anything to me. What?
We'll see about tonight. I don't know if I can do tonight, but we'll see.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
We'll talk
or
about
maybe tomorrow. Oh boy. So excited to see her take down Jacob. Yeah, it's going to be a battle. Yes, Muna is an incredible person. It's going to be a ting. So if you haven't done so already, please check out the ticker out. Please So subscribe right down below. Please hit that like button if you like this video, this live. And if you want to see us go live and be notified, please ring that bell so you will be alerted every time we release a video or we go live. So unless you have anything amazing else to say, thank you to everybody in the chat. So all the Joshes, multiple Joshes in the chat. We got Josh, we got Joseph, we got Frank, we have Brent,
Dolores,
Dion, pardon, Dolores. And if I forgot anybody, Phil, we love chatting with you. So thank you for being so great with your responses and your comments. We love it, love it, love it. So until next week or Drag Race, we'll be seeing you soon. Love y'all. Bye.